Hello everyone, welcome to the Big League Soccer World Cup edition. This program will reach you on this channel on a regular basis throughout the duration of the 2014 FIFA World Cup. My name is Sunny Koiki, your regular anchor, and with me in the studio is Kozim Elegbede and Julius Ojabase. Guys, thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
World Cup is here, despite what everybody might think. After the final was played in 2010, we waited for so long, but the FIFA World Cup is finally here. And let's start with the issues regarding this World Cup. This might be probably the most militarized, most dangerous, in quotes, World Cup in history. Statistics: 14 of the most dangerous cities in the world are in Brazil. The Brazilian government has mobilized over 170,000 security personnel in order to quell protests throughout this World Cup. They have also placed orders for stun grenades, smoke bombs, anti-riot gear, and this is a country that is expecting to receive God knows how many visitors and national teams from all over the world. So my question to you, gentlemen, let me start with you, Julius. Is this probably going to be a dangerous World Cup? Will it be a World Cup that fans will remember, or one that they will just go to the stadium and go back to their hotel and we can enjoy the nightlife in Brazil?
Yeah, well, my opinion is that what I know about football, sport in general, no matter what precautions have been taken in order to protect the players and then to protect the people who have come to watch, I feel when the game starts, there is a way football takes away all such tensions, and I don't see this World Cup going to be different. Yes, those precautions have been taken, but when the game starts, the excitement we get, some of this tension will be quelled.
Kazi, let me ask you, despite all the protests, despite all the demonstrations, despite all the strikes going on in Brazil, the truth is, television set sales have risen at least 49% over the past 2 months, which means that in Brazil itself, which means despite everything that is going on, these people are, they're getting up to watch the World Cup.
Yes, it is not a surprise. Brazil being a football country, football is their religion, is their number one sport, and what have you. And this is the World Cup, it's the biggest. And they're hosting it for the second time since the one they did in 1950. It's a very long time. Yes, you talked about the security challenges. It is expected in the sense that the world has moved on. We have all sorts of terrorist groups now. So let's forget about the riots in Brazil. Without those riots, those security measures will still have to be taken.
These security challenges do not relate to external terrorist threats that we know of as of now. It is just ordinary Brazilians protesting the fact that their country has spent over $16 billion on the World Cup, and they are hungry.
Today, they did the protest during the Confederations Cup. Yes, one might argue that was just an 8-team thing, but at least we didn't have any major issue. So, the same way Brazil successfully managed the Confederations Cup is the same way they're going to manage the World Cup. Yes, it's on a bigger scale, but if you are able to manage 1 naira, it makes sense that you should be able to manage 10 naira.
Gentlemen, let me ask you this question. It's a question I've been asking a lot of people actually. Is it because Brazil did not undergo a competitive bidding process with other teams? Like, in the 2018 World Cup bidding process and the 2022 World Cup bidding process where so many teams, but in this particular World Cup, it was zoned to South America and everybody gave it to Brazil on a platter of gold. Could this have been the issue? Maybe that is why they are so lackadaisical about preparing for the World Cup.
No. You see, it's not only Brazil. I remember USA 94. Some stadium didn't get to the 100% ready stage until on the eve of the finals itself. So this happens, especially if it is outside Europe. It is only in Europe where you have almost 100% organization. They work ahead of time. The South Africa 2010, we had issues too, where some stadia were not going to be ready until the last minute, and we know what happened in Nigeria, the 8th wonder of the world.
Yeah, but Julius, this World Cup is nowhere near as bad as South Africa 2010. The Brazilians required 8 stadiums minimum by FIFA.
And Brazil was 12.
Maybe now Wasabi.
Well, maybe that could be why some of the people in Brazil are, protesting that we are spending so much money.
Because, sorry to cut you short, some of these stadiums are built in cities without recognized football clubs,
which is very.
So they are wondering what will happen to these stadiums in the long run.
Yeah, so that's like I said, that's why I would say that could be what informed the riot. and the protest that we are spending, we are going 2x, maybe they have some statistics that tells them, oh, in South Africa, this was what was done. So why are we stating what we should do? Why are we spending so much money? So that could inform the protest and the riot that we are spending too much money to the World Cup. I think that could be a factor.
Well, and still on the World Cup, let's talk about the man who a lot of people feel dozed out World Cup hosting rights. The man who is currently under fire right now. Sepp Blatter is in the eye of the storm again regarding issues surrounding the 2022 World Cup hosting rights that was given to Qatar. There have been many allegations of corruption in the bidding process and in the final selection process. And recently, the man came out boldly to say that he would like to run for the office of the FIFA president again. But next year. But this was a major departure from what he said last year, that he wasn't interested. There are the rumors that he might be interested, but he has now come out to say that he's interested. And UEFA came out very strongly. The associations in Norway, Germany, and England, and a few other countries came out and told him that, look, although you are 78, your expiry date is well past due, and we do not want to see you as FIFA president next year. Is it a case of he has finally lost FIFA?
No, I wouldn't say Sepp Blatter has finally lost FIFA. Rather, I would say he has lost maybe some very good allies. I mean, the Europeans have become estranged, rightly or wrongly. And then you can't wish away the spate of accusations leveled against FIFA. For a long time, they've been dancing out of it. I mean, we know the story of Jack Warner. I mean, he wasn't indicted once, more than twice, if I remember correctly. But even our own Amos Adamu, the FIFA kept...
Many of these people are strong allies.
Strong allies, yes. And FIFA kept dancing out of this quagmire. But it's good, the time will come when they won't be able to. And I think that time has come, because it's not just... Europe is key when it comes to FIFA election. They have 54 members, and when it comes to funding, Europe and Asia, are the best and highest funders of FIFA. So if he has lost Europe, then I think it's going to be very, very tough for him. For me, Blatter has had enough. He should go. I mean, with the little or the remnant of his credibility.
Yeah. But Julius, let me ask you finally on final notes before we go on a break. There have been allegations that all these issues surrounding Blatter have been instigated, or some will say manufactured, by the British press, who are going through what Nigerians call bad belly. The fact that they lost out in the bidding processes of in previous World Cups, and the fact that they won't get, so they are more than willing to see Blatter suffer for the fact that they didn't get the World Cup. If you remember, the investigations were done by two prominent British tabloids.
Yes.
English tabloids. English tabloids, and they brought all this to limelight. Could this be a factor?
I think it will. It's a factor. It's a factor, and I think what they are doing now, in my opinion, is they are doing everything they can do to get him out of the scene, so they can, But at least, like he said, Europe is a key ally for him to keep running. But right now they are not, as it were, and they are doing all they can do to get it out of there. So I don't think this is the end of investigation and things that will come out from Europe. There are still more that's going to come from Europe, because they want Blatter out.
Okay. Big League Soccer World Cup edition is what you are still watching. We'll take our first break and we'll be right back with what promises to be an exciting show. It's still Big League Soccer, and this is the second half of the show where we delve into World Cup issues proper. Let's start with our own Super Eagles, who are now in Brazil, now training as vigorously as possible, and now getting ready for their first match on Monday against Iran. Causing me a laughing. I don't know why. What problems do you have with this? Yes, they've had injury problems. Yes, their preparation might not have been the best possible. But let me give you a statistic. The two times that we qualified out of our group, actually topped our group at the World Cup, we didn't have the best of preparation.
You stole my life.
1994 and 1998. And we haven't exactly had the best of preparations this time around. Shouldn't that give you some kind of confidence?
You see, football has become ultra scientific, such that you could almost predict what will happen by looking at some preparations. And Nigeria's preparations have not been up to scratch, if you ask me. which is why I'm concerned. I mean, we have one of the easiest groups in our World
What
Cup
are you
history.
concerned about?
I'm concerned about the kind of team we're taking to Brazil. The final 23 that Coach Stephen Keshi named. I'm not convinced. I mean, I think
you are saying
we have
you think
23.
they are the best
We have a
23
lot of
players.
passengers in that team. You can't have the best 23 players, but out of 23, I should be talking about 1920 that ordinarily would have merited their place. I can't say that of this.
So how many people in this team merit their place?
I don't see beyond 15.
15.
And that is very, very
and that's
generous.
that's
very generous.
more than a team that will start. So if I can have 11 players that can start, that merit it. So
Julius,
So Julius,
please, yes, these things will come into play. Even fatigue, even players' characteristics. When the player is not giving you what you want, maybe because the team are the opponents have neutralized him, then you have recourse to the bench to bring in another person with different characteristics. If you don't have that, you don't have any hope.
Okay, let's still keep talking about this. Julius, let me ask you this question. Some people have said that Keshi made a blunder by replacing the injured Elderson Echejile with an attacking player in Ejike Ozuenyi, that he should have been like for like, a defender for a defender. That and already there have been accusations that Nigeria is top heavy. Is top heavy. We've listed no less than 8 forwards, stroke strikers. Ejike Ozuenyi can also be argued to be another forward stroke striker.
Nine strikers.
Nine
Strikers.
forward strikers. Do you think the composition of this team is balanced?
to be honest, it is not. And I would have thought Keshi would have come in.
It's too late for us to do anything about it.
I would have thought he should have taken. I mean, the right thing is to bring a like for like, not an attacker anymore. But again, having said that, I think like we were talking before now. I said I don't want to blame Keshi with his selection right now until I see the first game against Iran, because in as much as I know that even when they were going to the Nations Cup, I wasn't really totally satisfied with the team that was going. But he went there, he did his thing, and he came back. So I am hoping that replay itself in the World Cup. So that's why I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Because you are hoping against me, because this is World Cup. It's not Nations Cup. I mean, and today we bear witness that I supported Keshi 100% on his way to the Nations Cup. So if I'm against him now, you shouldn't be sitting down here comfortably.
Okay, we'll just definitely see how that pans out. But please just don't forget to join in the debate. Send your comments in below, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel where you can get all these fascinating interviews and programs on this YouTube channel. Send your comments in below. Do you think that these are the best 23 players in Africa? In Nigeria? Do you also think that this is the best Super Eagles team that we can put out at this point in time? Do you also think that these Super Eagles will qualify from a group that consists of Iran, Argentina, and Bosnia and Herzegovina? So we'll see how that pans out. Don't forget our first game is against Iran on Monday. But finally, Julius, when Brazil last hosted the World Cup, there were 150 million Brazilians. How many years on? There are over 500 million Brazilians.
They are highly fecund.
Eagerly waiting to see a World Cup victory at home. Will this pressure be too much for them to overcome?
Well, I don't think so. Because I read an article, and then where the Brazilian the players were saying the reason why they were under pressure was because of the demonstration in the country, the protests, and that really lifted. So they are doing well to make sure that they could bring the country together again. So I still see that play out. They still want to do their thing to be able to bring the country, because some of the players have said they support the people in what they are demanding. So that protest has lifted a huge part of the pressure of them. So that's the advantage they have again.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. We'll take another quick break and we'll be right back to round up the show proper. Welcome back. It's still a Big League Soccer, the World Cup edition, and we're about to move into the final stages of the program. Gentlemen, we've talked about Brazil being clear favorites, hosts, 5-time winners, as well, and the pressure of having over 500 million Brazilians urging them on to victory. But which other teams do you think stand as clear favorites for this start? Which other teams do you think will contest Brazil's right to win this trophy at home? Let me start with you, Julius. Which other teams do you think?
I think Spain.
Spain, defending champion, Spain.
Spain.
Okay.
Germany, they are always, there to, contest. I think Germany too has something to say. Those are the two teams I say, in my opinion, that will contest. Well, I would have loved to add Argentina to that list, but somehow I don't know. In the Messi I saw before, prior to this time, if Messi had been on form, I could have just said Argentina too should be in that list. So those are the teams I think will really contest: Spain and Germany.
Okay, but Kazim, Julius mentioned something: Spain and Germany. It is instrumental to note that any and every time the World Cup was held in South America, Central America, or North America, no European team has ever won it. Is this statistic likely to continue?
I am afraid so, because in fact, it was only South Africa where an European team won the World Cup outside their continent. But every time the World Cup has been outside Europe.
In fact, you forgot to mention that it was two European teams that contested the final.
Yes, so but every time the World Cup had been, every time there was a World Cup outside Europe, no European country has gone on to win it, except the South African story. So the South Africans are favourites, and of course Brazil being the host. The South Americans are favourites, and Brazil being the host will have to be your number one. I disagree with Julius that Argentina might not be there. I want to give them a chance. But if we look beyond
your own favorites,
that's what I'm saying. If we look beyond South America now, I look at France being my best team from Europe.
Former world champions, 1998 champions.
Yes, and finalists 2006. I've seen a lot of friendly matches. The build up to Brazil 2014. I'm impressed with what the Deschamps has done. For me, France squad is the best, the strongest all round.
Okay.
Looking at the starting 11 and the ones on the bench, there is hardly a difference, which goes a long way in determining how a team will go. And that team is very, very talented. You could see the unity. I'm afraid.
Any other team?
I'm coming. For me, I think the list will be France reaching the semi-finals. Okay. I don't see them finishing below that. Yes, I will mention Germany. Like Julius rightly said, they have always been there and about, and they were bronze medalists in the last two World Cup finals. So maybe they could just they could just be totally lucky. I would have loved to mention Spain, but the fact that history doesn't favor them.
Okay.
No, since Brazil won it in successfully defended in 1962, no country has been able to defend the World Cup. I don't think that will change.
But why is neither one of you mentioning Nigeria? I'm not asking you Africa. I'm not limiting to Africa. I'm asking.
Even if you ask me Africa today, I will gladly mention Ghana. Even though I'm sad as a Nigerian.
If you can be a contender, you can be a winner. Nigeria are African champions. Nigeria has, apart from the USA game that we lost, they have been unbeaten in so many
Let's not belabor this.
Why?
You said Nigeria is a tournament team, and I will tell you that is wrong. Look, in the last 4 tournaments that Nigeria participated, how did you fail?
What about the last
in
one?
the last 4?
No, I'm talking about
the last one. You didn't qualify for your group.
No, the last one we won. I'm not mentioning specific tournaments.
Even forget about the tournaments or being a tournament team. The fact that we're going to the World Cup with a lot of passengers made me lose hope in that team. And you asked us to list our favorites. Even at best of times, Nigeria will not be among the World Cup favorites.
There should be some sense of patriotism.
As Nigeria, this goes beyond patriotism.
Well, you are right. You are right in saying that. But I think what we need to see, because we fine will participate, fine will go out of our group. Ultimately, I don't see.
Are we contenders or participants?
Well, we are contending. We are not participating.
For me, Nigeria at best of times will be participants.
I would disagree with that.
We are saying that before we are the best. We only participate.
We have our limit because right now, what it takes. What
are our limitations?
Well, the limit for me as a person,
just list them.
Too many.
It is the kind of players we have.
Okay.
Yes, we don't have the type we had even when going to the USA.
What kind of limitations again?
For me, that's major. Yes, that's major because they are the actors. Now, when you see a thing and you see the kind of player you put together, you know, from the way they play. You can as well look at that team when the going get tough. Some players will come up, and we don't have such players right now. And some of the departments in that team, we are just yes, we are just making a makeshift. Yes, we are making a makeshift. Some of the departments, particularly for me, the art of the team, which is supposed to be the midfield. So we don't have players that are creative, that could make things happen.
So your own issue is the quality of the
players we have.
Okay, what about you? You said you lose plenty. If you don't lose plenty,
yes,
people will be arguing.
Quality of the playing personnel, even quality of the technical bench. I'm sorry to say quality of the technical bench.
Are you by any chance insinuating that even Stephen Keshi himself is not quality? Is that what you're saying? Reigning African Coach of the Year.
Is quality, but is not quality enough to make Nigeria become World Cup favorites. Then 3, our preparations. Okay. 4, the level of intelligence of our players. I mean, it is only Nigerian players who have come out to tell the world that they are ready to win the World Cup, or at worst get to the semi-finals. None of even the World Cup favorites have come out to say that.
There's no crime in that. Last time
yes, you could be dreaming
of positive thinking.
No, but
there is what we call silly or naive positive thinking.
No. I tend to disagree.
You want to win the World Cup?
Sorry, Ahmed Musa said we must win. He didn't say we will. Everybody has the right to wish. Okay. But another thing I want to say in what he said about preparation. Now, if you look at when the league ended in Europe, okay, and when you have to gather the players, now it doesn't really give you room to really be.
Everybody
so because of the features in Europe, it affects even the preparations. And so what is it only Nigeria? No. What I'm saying, sorry, let me say what I'm saying is that you don't expect players that are just finished a league to go camp them for a long season because they're just coming from the back of a competitive.
Stop begging this issue.
I feel is the personal.
Stop begging this
gentlemen. Let's on the final note. Let's just spare a thought for those who are missing in action. Plenty of big players will be missing from this World Cup. Radamel Falcao, Frank Ribery, Ricardo Montolivo, as I think our own elder sin Chiejele will be missing as well. Will this Marco Reus of Germany we are looking for?
And then one that says the World Cup will not be complete without him.
The mighty Zlatan. Will this diminish the quality of the World Cup? In your opinion, big players missing.
No way.
No Falcao.
There is no World Cup. Excuse me. There is no World Cup where you don't have some big players missing. It's always been the case, and we've always had fantastic World Cup. So I believe Brazil 2014 will not be a difference. It's still going to be.
Well, for the teams that those players will not play for, they're going
to be a big miss.
Yes, for them it's going to because they are part of the plan, and then the fact that they are not there, they have to come up with plan B. Okay. So you don't normally use your plan B when you have the A.
So what is Nigeria's plan B?
Well, we have seen it. We have seen it. We brought in an attacker for a midfield, so for a defender.
That's our plan B. Nigeria and Cameroon are the only two teams who argued, fought, and even threatened to boycott World Cup just for pecuniary reasons.
Well, that Nigerian one is not documented. They had constructive
discussions. Did you hear anything like that from German camp or from the French camp?
This is Nigeria.
Us why didn't we name Brazil, Nigeria among the favorites? So this is one of the reasons. We waste so much energy on senseless things, on things that not issues.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Cosmo Lebede, vocal as ever. Thank you, Julius Ojagbase, quietly making your points as well, but equally as cerebral. And thank you too for watching this. This has been a complete sports production, the Big League Soccer World Cup edition. Please don't forget to subscribe. Also send in your comments. Tell us who you think. Do you think that this competition will miss the likes of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Ricardo Montolivo, Radamel Falcao as well? Do you also think that Brazil are outright favorites for this World Cup, or who are your other favorites as well? How far do you think the Super Eagles can go? And also tell us the Brazil-Croatia game. Do you think there's an upset in that, or it's Brazil all the way? Just send your comments. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next edition of the show.